Hey adventurers, and welcome back. Today I'm going to go over some general settings tips that have really helped me out when starting Guild Wars 2. I think it would really help you out as well, whether it's finding an item on the ground that you're not so sure of, whether it's inviting your friend, whether it's a camera position. I'm going to show you all the things that have helped me out in my beginning journey so you don't have to go through the same struggle that I did. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. I do stream over on twitch.tv/Geegan every Tuesday and Sunday night. So once you're logged into the game, you need to press the escape key, or you can go up to the top left corner here where it says game menus, kind of like this little gear icon. You're going to go down to options. So on the left hand side here, there are 4 different types of icons. There's general, graphics, sound, and control options. Hold on, let me turn on the volume real quick. So we're gonna focus on the general options tab for today. So the first thing that I really think that a new player would benefit from would having the show all usable object names clicked. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the 8th checkbox down underneath user interface section. So one of my viewers on my stream showed me this. So if you click this, there are quests that you can do throughout the game. There are items that you can gather. When you get closer, the names pop up, but say you're riding around, you don't know what you're doing. You're supposed to be doing a heart or an event, but you're not exactly sure where to find the thing. If you click that, it'll show it to you further away. So you can see the suspicious barrels are displayed in the distance and up close all the time. This is a huge help, in my opinion. You can press the Alt key on your keyboard and it will show all the names that you have hidden. So obviously here I have NPC names box unchecked as well. So when I press Alt on my keyboard, it shows my name and their names. The next suggestion that I recommend for new players is to mess around with your camera a little bit. What I highly recommend in this section is to have field of view completely to the right, because if you don't, then you're going to be moving your character's camera like crazy and you're not going to be able to see what's around you. This is really helpful when it comes to boss fights, PvP, pretty much everything in the game. You're going to want your field of view to be all the way out. That way you can see everything in the game. If you want to actually be playing in first person or third person, then just zoom in a little bit further and there you go. But you actually want to have this all the way to the right, so you have the ability to zoom all the way out if you want to. If you want more control with your zoom, then you can put the zoom sensitivity slider down, and the more you zoom in, it'll give you like more steps essentially, like with your mouse wheel. But if you put it all the way to the right, one little mouse wheel click will get you, it'll zoom in pretty far or zoom out pretty far. So if you're zooming in and out pretty far all the time, then you want the sensitivity of that to be all the way up. Now to the fun part, which are the horizontal and vertical positions. This is where you can actually customize how you play the game and how you view your character. So if you zoom all the way in and then you do left and right, see right to the right, left, all the way to the left. Personally, I like having my character just a little bit on the left because it gives me more room over here to move my mouse, to deal with different things. I like having it that way, but you find what's good for you. I want to go over something else called action camera, like I just mentioned, that kind of fits in between the camera and the combat movement. In order to do that, you want to go down to the control options, which is underneath the sound options. You're going to want to scroll down to the camera section, and then you're going to want to toggle action cam. I have mine set to my middle mouse button, which is the scroll wheel. I just click that during combat. It seems to be the most efficient for me. So enable first person camera allows you to zoom in past your character. And if you put on action cam, it gives you this little dot in the middle of the screen, which kind of makes the game like a first person shooter almost. When you hover over an enemy, it shows this little reticle. And the circle with the dots on the top and the bottom and left and right means that, oh, come on, minion. Means that it is in range. So we're able to attack it, problem. But if it's out of range it'll have the diagonals in the top, kind of like at this way, not this way, you know what I'm saying? So it says out of range, right? But it has the circle still because your pet can go over there and attack it. I thought that's a really nice detail. So now that my pet moved it a little closer, see, I can now attack it. And as you can see, during this kind of camera angle, my camera's shaking all over the place, because my character is swinging axe and my head is actually moving up and down, right? So if I remove enable camera shake, which I think anybody should do, especially if you're competitive in games, now my camera is not moving, it's not shaking. So I really recommend unchecking that box. Personally, I don't like playing in first person, so I keep it like this. So the furthest I can zoom in is here. The reason behind that is because sometimes in raids or PvP, I accidentally hit my mouse wheel and I zoom it all the way in, and then it kind of discombobulates me and then I'm dead. I can't, it hurts my situational awareness. So I like having it so I'm not able to zoom all the way in to the point where I cannot see my character or where I am on the map. The next section is combat and movement. So this is kind of redundant. Double left click, they don't say left click, but it's double left click to attack. So personally, sometimes if your mouse is pretty sensitive, you don't want that selected because it'll automatically attack it. See, there goes my pets right now. I just double click the enemy and there you go. Okay, so, but if I double click this rabbit, it's not gonna attack. You uncheck it. But if I right click the rabbit, I will attack it. Boom. Sometimes you want to simply select an enemy in order to target it. So this is really helpful with friends, if you want to show them where a target is. So if you're over here like left clicking stuff, you might accidentally double click it and say you're in a raid or a dungeon or something more important with a lot of people, you could accidentally pull the enemy and wipe the entire group. Now, when you go over to targeting, you see I put a target on something. So you need to keybind it in order to target something. So I did Control T. So I have stop auto attacking on change target. In the beginning of the game, you might want to have auto targeting, auto attack, double click to attack, etc. Because if you're just going around clicking and you're used to the game and you just want to kill stuff, then that makes a lot of sense. But if you're trying to play with others, then having this disabled will help a lot. If you have melee attack assist checked, you will not run through your enemy target. If you're a melee character, but if you want to have that checked, then essentially we'll be able to run through it. You can dodge through it, but you won't be able to run through it. See? So if I uncheck that, now I can run straight through my enemy target. Okay, so this is just another way also to prevent you from attacking things you don't want to. The spider actually aggroes. If I press the number 1 now, it only attacks once. If I control right click again on here, we have a little arrow around the skill, it auto attacks. So in a lot of other games like World of Warcraft, the main skill is auto attack, and I think by default in Guild Wars 2 this is also set, but I thought I would show you that just in case you want a little bit more control over your character throughout your adventure. Oh yeah, one last thing, this is going to be a little bonus tip. So going back to the options and the key bindings, If you go down to your miscellaneous tab, here there's the stow/draw weapon. Essentially, it's sheathing your weapon. So if you go through the key bindings, you can find toggles and key bindings for pretty much every setting in the game, movement, action, whatever it is. But there are some things in there that I had no idea about. So your character automatically sheaths their weapons when they're ready to go attack an enemy. What I didn't know, and I was looking for, because a lot of other games has this built in, you're able to bring out your weapons from their holsters and display them on your character. So I keybound this to Z. I do that in all my games that I play, Skyrim, World of Warcraft. So you take it out of the sheath and you could show it off to your friends. Or say you're just in combat and you're running around, and on the char, if you don't have your weapons sheath, you can't hop on all fours and run like this. You have them sheathed, obviously you're not going to run on all fours because you're running around on two legs. So it just looks unnatural, and it's a little bit more fluid when it comes to running around and playing the game how you want to play it. I'm sorry for the unscripted format with this video, but I didn't really understand any other way to do it. I really appreciate everybody giving me tips along the way. Most of these tips came from my friends. The other half of them just came about by me exploring the menus and playing the game. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I do stream over on Twitch every Tuesday nights and Sunday nights. And if you have any tips for me, I would love to learn from you too. Please drop a comment down below. I would love to hear your tips about Guild Wars 2. I would love to see how your camera settings are and how you like to play the game. That being said, adventurers, I'll see you in the next one.